Rams aren't just Super Bowl contenders. They could be the NFL's biggest nightmare. Matthew Stafford, Myles Garrett, McDuffie, and possibly Aaron Donald are turning LA into a super team. But the defending champion Seahawks are still standing in their way.
We will say a statement of fact. BA will tell us if it's BS or no BS. Denver has Sean Payton. The Seahawks defense is great. New England is a wagon. But the LA Rams will be the Super Bowl champions. Is that BS or no BS, BA?
That's no BS, brother.
Whoa! Super Bowl prediction! January 20th. Okay.
Yeah, I've been a part of 2 wild card teams that got on a roll. And once you get on that roll, the noise doesn't bother you anymore. You got that invincibility feeling about you. And I think the Rams, with Sean McVay and Matthew Stafford, plus that defense, I think that defense is the one that can get in Sam Darnold's head. And Sam's been playing great, and Seattle's a hard place to go play. But the Rams have been there and done it. And I just see them doing it, and I think they'll beat whoever comes out of the AFC.
Matthew Stafford, MVP and a Super Bowl?
Wow.
The NFC is favored over the AFC no matter what the matchup is.
Yes.
The NFC West is favored over the AFC no matter what the matchup is on DraftKings as it predicts the future.
But that was only the prediction. The real shock came next, because the Rams didn't just talk about becoming unstoppable. They started building something that could terrify the entire NFL.
Yes, they're having fun because right now their season doesn't mean anything. Anyways, the football world continues to wait and see if the Rams will keep stacking star power. LA made a blockbuster move for Myles Garrett, remember, while the offense is loaded with reigning MVP Matthew Stafford, Puka Nacua, and Devontae Adams. And if Aaron Donald comes out of retirement to join Garrett, the Rams could have a terrifying defensive front. The Rams have plus 550 odds to win the Super Bowl this season, with no other team having odds shorter than 10-1. The Bills and Ravens are tied for the second shortest odds at 10-1. Last season, those 2 teams were tied for the shortest preseason Super Bowl odds when they were plus 650 favorites. So at this point, if you ask anyone who they think will be in the Super Bowl, it feels like they're going to say Rams and another team. So I ask you, would you take Rams or the field to make it to February 14th at SoFi Stadium on ESPN and ABC? Go ahead, J-Mac.
I'm going
Rams or the field?
My mind tells me it has to be the field, and I'm still going to go with the Rams. This team, you talk about Myles Garrett being on the same team, who was the Defensive Player of the Year with the MVP and Matthew Stafford. And then, we may also bring back a 3-time Defensive Player of the Year in Aaron Donald. Mm-hmm. You don't just go with this team because all of a sudden in an offseason they just compiled a few really good players and now all of a sudden they're supposed to be good. They were really good a year ago. Like they were a team that easily could have been in the Super Bowl. They were one of the teams we talked about at the top of the league all season long. One of the weakest spots on their team last year, and probably the reason they weren't in the Super Bowl was their secondary, specifically their cornerback position. Did they address that? Yes. They went and got Trent McDuffie, an all-pro corner from the Kansas City Chiefs, and then they also got his running mate in Jalen Watson. The other way you help your secondary that is struggling, you don't let the quarterback throw the ball. And when you get 2 monsters up there, potentially in Aaron Donald and Myles Garrett on that defensive line, the quarterback's not going to have much time to throw the ball. So I know conventional wisdom tells you pick the field because it's just so hard to make the Super Bowl. But when your roster's that good and you have one of the head coaches in the NFL that is the very best in Sean McVay, I just have no reason to choose another team other than the Rams.
If we're doing power rankings on head coaches, McVay's likely number 1. Mm-hmm. If you're talking about culture, if you walk into their building, it's like you want to run through a wall, it's number 1. Defensive tandem, if it's Donald and Garrett, 1. You could say McDuffie's 1. You go down the list. Puka and Devontae, 1. Yep. MVP, 1. It's too hard to predict 18 games and just assume it's going to go smooth. And a 38-year-old quarterback with a backup quarterback being Stetson Bennett and Ty Simpson is alarming to me. Jimmy G is not there. An offensive line that is porous at times makes me concerned. And just how hard it is to go through the wire to wire with no injuries and no adversities. Yeah. For us to be as bold and as confident to say one of these 32 teams versus the field is erroneous. I'm going to say the field I'm not going to pick one of the teams in the field because I think the Rams have the best shot at everyone, but I'll take the 31 others over any lone team if you're asking me who's going to win the Super Bowl.
Goodness gracious. Killer of fun over here.
Was that so, rational and,
that was way too rational.
Take off my tie and be crazy and
Here's what we're going to do.
Do you want me to pick the Browns to win it all? I'm just saying.
There's irrational, rational, and not very smart. I mean, come on.
This? You're a Brown, too. Come on, back me up here. Listen, when I think of the Rams, and you're right, you can't predict injury. That could happen. There's a lot of older players as well. But if we're not talking about injury, I do feel like, and I'm not the kind of person to say, hey, this super team is a guarantee. This is by far the best team in the NFL. When you think about even the things that derail super teams, it's like, well, maybe the pressure is going to get to them. Maybe they don't have high performers. Maybe that kind of thing in the locker room. They don't have that expectation. They don't know what it means to be a champion. I don't think any of that stuff exists from the head coach on down. 5 Defensive Player of the Year awards on defense. I would argue that last year, had they had one of these potential 4 players between McDuffie, Watson, Garrett, or Aaron Donald, one of those players, they would have been the Super Bowl champions a year ago, and they added 4. The offense was as good as they were. Devontae had 14 touchdowns, but the reality is when you watch the season, he actually didn't have a full grasp of the offense. They didn't have chemistry for the majority of the year. Yeah. He goes into year 2 with Puka, who is arguably one of, if not the best receiver in the NFL. You can make that case. So I just feel like there is too much going for them that, yes, anything could happen, and that's why we love sports, because most likely it's actually a bigger percentage that will be wrong, but I've never seen this kind of team on paper.
And I agree. And I think we all have hesitancy of just jumping on the super team, so we almost immediately reject it because it hasn't worked in the NFL. It worked with the Niners in '95 with free agency, but other than that, the Eagles never did it as the dream team, and then in recent years, the Redskins have tried, other teams have tried, it just never works. McVay is the X factor. And McVay has won a Super Bowl, so the pressure of how can he handle all these stars? He's already done it with Von Miller and Jalen Ramsey and a bunch of stars. The issue to me is that you have this looming team in the NFC West that nobody is talking about that happens to be the defending champions in the entire world in the Seahawks. And the fact that maybe people click off when they talk about Seahawks, maybe Mike McDonald, despite being on Hard Knocks, is a bore. JSN says nothing. Whatever it is, Darnold doesn't do it.
I don't have Kenneth Walker anymore.
I just feel like we're not giving them enough of a piece of this argument to assume that it's them or the field. If you want to say Rams or Seahawks who in the NFC, let's have at it. But to dismiss the Seahawks as one of the other 31, I think that is a bit much too.
Okay. No one's worried about Aaron Donald just maybe showing up one day. Like he hasn't played in how long has it been? 2-3 years? I mean, no one's everyone's just put him in. Let's go. No one's concerned about it.
That's going to be the beginning of his highlight tape at the end of the year. What you just said there is going to cut with music right into all his highlights from 2026.
Sorry, Aaron. I mean, I know he's a beast, but
slow motion.
I think it's because he's extra. I think even if he doesn't come back, a lot of people are going to still pick the Rams as their favorites to win the Super Bowl. So it's just all right, Aaron Donald, that when you were playing, you were a 99. If you come back and you're an 89, that'll be enough. We'll be fine with that. So I think that's the part where it's just just come on and join the game.
Okay.
Forget the hype. The Los Angeles Rams aren't just Super Bowl contenders anymore. They're starting to look like the NFL's worst nightmare. Matthew Stafford, Myles Garrett, Trent McDuffie, Jalen Watson, Davante Adams, Puka Nacua, and the possibility of Aaron Donald returning. That isn't a normal offseason. That is a warning to the entire league. One analyst was asked a simple question: Rams or the field? His answer was even simpler: Rams. No BS. And suddenly, the defending champion Seahawks have a massive problem standing directly in their path. But what makes this prediction dangerous isn't the star power alone. It's what Los Angeles already proved last season. The Rams didn't suddenly become great because of a few flashy additions. They were already one of the NFC's most dangerous teams. Then they attacked their biggest weakness, the secondary. Los Angeles added All-Pro corner Trent McDuffie from Kansas City and Jalen Watson. And then came the monster move, Myles Garrett, one of the most dominant defensive players in football. Now imagine a quarterback trying to survive a pass rush featuring Garrett and potentially Aaron Donald. You don't need to blitz everyone when the front four can destroy the pocket by themselves. And behind them? McDuffie and Watson. That changes everything. But the defense isn't even the most frightening part of this roster. On offense, the Rams have Matthew Stafford, coming off an MVP-level season, alongside Puka Nacua and Davante Adams. Adams scored 14 touchdowns last season, and the scary part is that he was still developing chemistry with the offense. Now he enters year 2 with Puka Nacua, a receiver many believe could be among the very best in the NFL. That means defenses face an impossible choice. Double Puka? Stafford finds Adams. Double Adams? Puka destroys the coverage. And if the defense finally decides to focus on the receivers, that's when Stafford can punish them underneath. This is why some analysts aren't calling the Rams merely a contender. They're calling them the team to beat. But here's where the argument gets uncomfortable, because there are still reasons to fear the Rams. Stafford is 38 years old. The offensive line can be vulnerable. And behind Stafford, the quarterback depth raises serious questions. Stetson Bennett and Ty Simpson don't exactly provide the same security as a proven veteran. Then there's the biggest enemy of every Super Bowl prediction: injuries. You can have the best roster in football and still watch everything collapse in one Sunday. That's why some analysts refuse to pick the Rams over all 31 other teams. But there's another problem Los Angeles cannot ignore. They play in the NFC West, and the team standing across from them is the defending Super Bowl champion Seattle Seahawks. And this is where the Rams versus Seahawks battle becomes much bigger than one division. Seattle may not have the same flashy headlines, but they have something the Rams desperately want: the championship. Their defense already proved it could dominate when the pressure was highest. And Sam Darnold has shown he can handle the moment. So while everyone is building the Rams into a super team, the Seahawks are quietly sitting there with the one thing nobody can manufacture in March: proof. Maybe the Rams really are unstoppable. Maybe Stafford gets another MVP-level run. Maybe Garrett and Donald turn the defensive line into a nightmare. Or maybe Seattle reminds everyone that football isn't won on paper. So now I'll throw it to you. Rams or the field? And if the field is your answer, are you really taking Seattle out of the equation? Because if you underestimate the defending champions, the Rams might not be the only team nobody wants to face in January. The Rams may have built the scariest roster in football, but until they take the championship away from Seattle, the throne still belongs to the defending champions. Thank you for watching Sport Current. Don't forget to subscribe, hit the like button, and share this video to support the channel. Turn on notifications so you never miss the latest NFL and WNBA news, breaking stories, game updates, trades, and the biggest moments in American sports. Stay tuned for more updates, and we'll see you in the next video right here on Sport Current.